What's up, Internet? It's the dumbass Manicos Gaming, and we're still working on Galarian Darumaka. Or Darumaka. Yeah, that's the one. Anyways, so we should be doing about 250 eggs tonight. I technically need like 15 more eggs, but I'll worry about that at the end. We'll just do it like the old-fashioned way where I get 5 eggs and then hatch them and 5 more and then hatch them, etc., etc. Let's get going. Maybe we won't even need them. That's part of why I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, today we got a lot of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news because the Game Freak actually invited a bunch of like Pokemon, well, not just Pokemon, like content creators, I guess. In fact, there's only really like one content creator. But like Cerebi got invited out, some like gaming channels got invited out. So we got a little bit of news because they basically got an hour to play the game. And they were limited to like a select area. In fact, one of them actually, like, they were chasing the cloth that was revealed in one of the previous trailers, and they got basically told they weren't allowed to go any further. But we did get some good news out of it. Overworld shinies are confirmed. Cerebi technically has the first ever shiny outside of like the developers for Scarlet and Violet, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we don't know if there's any sort of like audio cue for it or if there's like a big animation because they didn't really see it until they got up to it, apparently. Nothing about breeding was confirmed, which is unfortunate. It was confirmed though that the sandwich stuff, unlike the curries in this game, the sandwiches are actually going to be pretty important. There's going to be a bunch of stuff with that. And one of the boosts that you can actually get from that is gonna be a boost to shinies, so that's awesome. Something that wasn't awesome is was confirmed that the Let's Go mechanic that lets you, it's basically upgraded from Legends Arceus, so you can throw out your Pokemon, but they automatically go and like battle other Pokemon and stuff. It was confirmed that, yes, they will straight up just knock out Pokemon, which is, you know, a problem. It basically makes that mechanic worthless to me, to be honest. Because, like, if there was no reason to worry about it, yeah, I just send out my Pokemon all the time. But if I have to, even for a moment, be like, oh shit, maybe they're going to knock out a shiny, I'm going to use it as little as I possibly can. So, thanks for that, Game Freak. That sucks. I know, Austin John Plays, who wasn't one of the people that was invited. How'd you fuck that one up, Game Freak? I understand there's like a lot of different... to be fair, there weren't really many content creators. There weren't a whole lot. And actually, the Austin John Plays did call out actually one of them as being like... They had like the best video about all the new stuff. So, good for them. But anyway, so he like went through it all and like kind of went through all the stuff that he noticed in all the other videos, and he did say that, you know, oh, you can stop the auto battling at any point, or you can call back your Pokemon at any point, so, you know, it's not really an issue about the shiny thing. I disagree entirely on that. Understandably, I haven't actually played it, and I haven't really watched a whole lot of the stuff. I only kind of watched his overview of it, but also he hasn't also played it. I shouldn't have to think about a Pokemon that I'm sending out to just go do shit automatically. So the fact that you even have to think about that means you're gonna knock out a shiny at some point, and it's gonna be really fucking annoying. So I disagree with him on that he thinks that it won't be an issue. It's absolutely gonna be a massive issue. And I would highly recommend not using the Let's Go mechanic any more than absolutely necessary. Because it's... Well, if you don't care about shinies, then I guess you don't care, but, you know, if you care at all about shinies, it seems like that would be a bad idea. And it doesn't seem like you really need to use that for the sandwich stuff. You only really are going to need it for crafting TMs. Which, I might be wrong about that too. Who knows? I'm working off of someone else's overview of what other people experienced. So maybe I misinterpreted something in there, but it seems like yeah, it seems like sandwiches are going to be like a whole other like way to gather stuff, or gathering the materials from sandwiches is going to be separate from the Let's Go stuff. A couple other things that got noticed. The big one is that according to the representative that was spoken to, the AI for the raid battles is going to be significantly better. Man, I hope that's true. If it's true, I'll be very happy. But who knows? I mean, it certainly can't be any worse, right? So, and to be fair, I don't think there's been nothing said about like if there's anything like Dynamax Adventures, if there's like a multi-stage raid thing. There probably won't be. There's a pretty good chance that, however, we'll be able to shiny hunt legendaries from previous games. They'll be introduced in one of the DLC, or if there is any DLC, it's probably a safe bet. And then, did I move eggs over? Okay. And, yeah, nothing about breeding, which kind of worries me, but also in the scale of what the people previewing the game had to, access, they probably wouldn't have been able to anyways, but that does worry me a little bit. Oh, and also apparently, so there's the normal, like 8 gym badges, but then there's also 10 other badges that you get for doing other things, like the, battling the, not rival, but like the evil team equivalent. Beating like their leaders is technically gonna count. Or you'll get like a badge for them. And apparently there's stuff for the other things as well, like the storyline that has cloth and stuff like that. So we'll see. But yeah, apparently there's 18 total badges. Which, like, when that first got said, I was like, okay, what the hell? How is this gonna work? Because as one of my friends actually mentioned, that's not a multiple of 8, so it's not like there's double the number of gyms. And, like, technically, Sword and Shield had 10 gyms, and so technically 10 badges, but, like, you only get 8 in either game, so... But that would explain it. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, you know, there's still only some content out there for it, because the people who got to preview it did not get full access to the game or anything. They were restricted to a sizable but still restricted area, and they only had an hour to play it, so, you know, we'll see. One thing that got brought up is the performance of the game is, like, not stellar, but it is still fun. And also something that Austin John mentioned is that in the in one of the previous trailers, there's like a bunch of Sunflora following the player character, and in the English versions of that, the frame rate on those is like 10 FPS. It's like the original when they showed off Legends Arceus and you see that Chimchar that looks like a fucking slideshow. Similar to that. But in the Japanese version, actually the frame rate for those, I guess not frame rate, but the animation plays a lot smoother for those Sunflora. So, and it's believed that the, whatever version that, got previewed by people today, or yesterday, or whenever it got previewed but got revealed today, that was probably that older build that still had the, like, kind of choppier animation, so hopefully the game's gonna run a little bit better. One of the things that was confirmed is that the like, open area, is, like, by, you know, it's open everything, but then the towns actually do have a loading screen for them, which is probably for the best, to be honest. Like, I get how that, like, it's cool to have, like, the ability to just seamlessly run into town, and it's just, like, you know, there is no screen or whatever, but it's on the Switch, you know, like, it's probably best to just have those, the towns be kind of their own areas. And then apparently, like, gym battles and stuff are entirely their own area as well, so those are just, like, gonna run flawless. We'll see what that means, if that means 30 FPS or 60. Almost certainly 30. It's Pokemon, it's not gonna run at 60. Let's not get our hopes up here, but it should at least be smooth and not have issues or anything. So, we'll see. It is good to know that there's, like, there's some hope for the performance, at least. We'll see if that actually plays out. It certainly can't run as poorly as Legends Arceus did. Or at least look as bad as Legends Arceus, but, you know. But yeah, just getting more and more hyped for that game. It definitely looks like it's going to be an absolute blast to play. Still, you know, a little concerned about shiny hunting, but the fact that we, at bare minimum, have those, the sandwiches that can boost the shiny rate is really good. I didn't move eggs over, did I? Oh, I did. So, yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see when that game comes out, or those games come out, that game. It's not multiple games, it's the same fucking game. It'll probably be like BDSP, where it's literally all the exact same code, and it's just like one singular flag in the code that dictates if it's Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl. But yeah, I mean, I'm really concerned about the breeding, but as long as like the rest of the shiny hunting is okay, I won't be too concerned about it. And yeah, still a little bit salty about this wild area event, although it was confirmed at some point. I'm not sure, like, if it was before I actually did my last stream or not. But the new wild area event only runs until the 23rd. Yeah, so basically until like the end of Sunday. So, you know, it's possible there might still be a Halloween event. I'm not going to bet on it, but it is still possible. What's up, Marshadow is cool. Welcome to the stream. I'll kind of agree that Marshadow is cool. I only say kind of because I have, like, zero experience with it, but it does have a pretty neat design. But yeah, just working on shiny hunting for a Galarian Darumaka, or Darumaka. I always like to say it wrong. And just discussing some of the new stuff that got revealed today for Scarlet and Violet. Oh, that's right. There was some stuff about how the new raid battles work. We already knew it was like you don't have to wait for your teammates in order to make your next move, which is nice. It was confirmed that it's still not going to be like super fast paced, but that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. And yeah, there's no like shield mechanic that just like stops progress. I guess what was said was that there is a mechanic that it does like buff its defenses still. And that's fine. That's not really a big issue. As long as it's not like the shields where it's just like, nope. Like straight up, you can't do damage for like 3 to 6 attacks. Have fun. That was, not stellar. And, you know, like I said earlier, it's been, according to the representative from Game Freak, it's been confirmed that the AI will be better, and that from what the people playing it saw, the raid battles are more difficult, or at least a little bit more difficult. So, which is fine, because, I mean, you know, as long as the AI isn't complete trash, then you can make the battles more difficult. So, hopefully those are good. And hopefully we keep on getting some sort of similar event for those as we got with the wild area events in this game. That's probably one of, like, my favorite things they did with Sword and Shield was the, just, like, pretty much monthly events for, boosted shiny odds. I am interested to see if there's going to be anything else besides the sandwiches that's going to boost shiny odds in wild encounters as well. I really hope there's some sort of proper, like, audio or visual cue for when there's a shiny. Because, like, it's going to, especially for some Pokemon, it's going to really suck if there's no way to tell other than the fact they're just differently colored. Like, I think Cerebi even showed, like, the sprite for Shiny Go-Goat when they, which is the one they saw, the shiny that they saw, and, you know, that's not a very obvious difference. If there's a bunch around, you might be able to tell, but it's not very obvious just by looking at it, you know? So hopefully there's some sort of animation. It'd be really helpful if there's just some sort of audio cue. That would be best. Much like we got with Legends Arceus, but they didn't notice anything. But they did say that the way that they approached the shiny, because they were, like, coming up a cliff, so it's possible they just didn't notice. Especially if, like, you don't know what the audio cue is, you don't know what you're listening for. And, you know, maybe something was going on and was making noise or whatever. But we'll see. But there definitely does seem to be an emphasis on there being more shinies, which, I mean, seemed to be obvious with Legends Arceus, but, you know, we didn't know if that was going to carry over. But the fact that we have overworld shinies, again, by itself is just so much nicer. As long as it isn't, you know, again, there has to be something indicating it. But as long as there is, like, that's just so much nicer. It always felt a little bit odd with Sword and Shield that you would, like, you know, encounter a Pokemon and, like, it'd be wandering around in the wild. But it wasn't until you encountered it that you found out if it was shiny or not. It's like, well, like, I don't, like, it probably should. Like, if it's shiny, wouldn't you notice that before you battle it? I don't know. That always felt a little bit odd. At least with BDSP, it was like, you know, it was only the underground, so it's like, okay, you can kind of write that off. It's just, like, kind of a tacked-on mechanic. Fine. But either way, it's confirmed, so thank God. I almost wonder if maybe whatever preview build that all those people got to see is, I wonder if that was, like, built in, that they guaranteed someone would encounter a shiny just so they could, like, know that. But, I mean, it's not like it really matters. Either way, you know, it's not like the Cerebi guy was going to be able to actually catch it and keep it or anything. So even if it was a predetermined shiny or something like that. I do wonder if we'll get something, again, like we got with Ponyta in Legends Arceus, where to, like, introduce the shiny mechanic, you get, like, a guaranteed one. Because I wouldn't mind that. I don't want it to be, like, all the time, but it would be fine if, like, each game has it happen, you know, like, once. Especially if it's, like, a older Pokemon, like, you know, Ponyta. But speaking of shinies, oh my god. Hopefully we get this tonight. It'd be definitely nice to start on the next hunt tomorrow and get a couple of those out of the way before the my next stream weekend. Oh, and completely unrelated to Pokemon, I'm a little bit sad to find out last night, I think it was, that once like Microsoft's acquisition of Activision is complete, they still won't be able to put at least all of the Call of Duty games on Game Pass because of pre-existing deals with Sony, which really sucks because I was really looking forward to playing through the new Modern Warfare titles. Not like, you know, OG COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, but like the newer ones. Like Modern Warfare 2 Campaign just came out today, which is just like, apparently it's pretty damn good. And I would love to go back and like play through this. I would kind of like to go back and play through like a lot of the Call of Duty games, but because like there were a few that or a lot that I skipped actually, because after like Black Ops 2, I was just like, yeah, I'm good for a while. And the only one I played after that was Black Ops 2. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Black Ops 2 I played. I think I had Black Ops 3, but I just played a little bit of multiplayer in it. I think did Black Ops 3 have a... Yeah, Black Ops 3 had single player. It was Black Ops 4 that did not. But then other than that, I played Call of Duty Infinite? Was that the one? The one that was like the space one? Which was like awesome single player to play, except for the story. The story was just so fucking like miserable. It's like you blinked and like 3 characters die. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? That game, like everything about it was a ton of fun, but then like you play the story and it's just getting your, you know, your like group is just getting its ass kicked at every possible opportunity. And it's just like, at a certain point, it's just like, oh, fuck, do I care about anything that's happening anymore? Because like everyone's gonna die, clearly. Like it just keeps killing off characters and more and more and more. And like even the ending isn't even like satisfying in any way. I don't know, maybe you have to play on veteran to get a, you know, a better ending or some shit. But it's like I did everything, like I did all the side content and all that, and it just ugh. But even with that, again, that game was a ton of fun to play. It's just the story part of it was miserable to experience. So I would love to go back to that. But also, there were so many in there that I skipped. And again, especially like going back to the old Modern Warfare titles. Or even like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 even. Like, that shit was my jam back in the day. But I don't know how long the, or how far back into the catalog of games the Sony deal covers. And also, you know, it's possible before the acquisition, maybe something gets worked out there. And, you know, Microsoft can do it. Again, my big thing is I want to play the new, like the newest reboot, I guess, for Modern Warfare. Because I know the first one was extremely well received, at least campaign-wise, and at least what we've seen, or one I've seen so far, the new one is number 2 is really good as well. Plus, the thing about those games is I can do them over like 2 streams each. Like that's the thing. Like there's plenty of games that I would love to maybe play more on stream, although I probably will wait until I eventually get my one of the Intel GPUs for encoding, which also means Twitch has to update their shit, although temporarily I could just record on that GPU, but we'll figure that out at another time. But it's yeah, a lot of games I would play, but it's just like a lot of games are gonna be too long. And so, like, they would have to just get, like, mixed in occasionally. And especially if it's, like, a story-based game, I don't really want to do that. Also, plenty of the games that I want to play on stream are just, like, not going to be good stream games. You know. a lot of like long story stuff, which just doesn't really work out well on stream from what I've seen. Yeah, after Scarlet and Violet comes out, hopefully by then, you know, we'll have a update about Twitch and AD1 encoding. Maybe there'll be some Intel GPUs that are actually available, because that's part of the problem right now. Is like, there's been some confirmations of some new partners like making boards for them, but you know, they have to actually be available, and also they have to be the ones that I actually want, because I don't really want to buy a new power supply just for that. I think the one I have would be fine for something like an A380, but the thing is, I don't know where that box is, and I don't have cables for another GPU, so, you know, maybe it would be fine with just encoding, but I'd rather just wait until one of the other ones is available. But we'll see. Again, the Gigabyte was confirmed to be making add-in boards for the A380 and the A310. So hopefully, I don't know why Gigabyte wouldn't make the A310 card available, because it seems like there was a specific listing to like sell it by itself. But well, you know, again, we'll just have to see. But yeah, today we're gonna get up to we started at 300. We'll get up to about 550. Is that what I was gonna? Yeah, 550. We'll do 250 eggs total today. But yeah, hopefully we get it before that. Again, I would like to start on the next one before this. It's obviously, we're nowhere near as bad as Galarian Corsola. We're gonna have to really go a long ways to get as bad as that one. I think we have another hunt like that with the Galarian forms. We're in trouble for getting all these, because I do want all these Galarian regional forms before the new games come out. And hopefully we'll have some time in between doing these and the new games that I'll be able to work on a couple of other things to just like finish them up. Get my Ditto from BDSP that I never got because I didn't buy enough repels. God damn it. Oh, that one hurts so much. That's like the only time that I've really failed a shiny hunt. Like, I've not finished my Suicune hunt in Dynamax Adventures. I've not finished my Registeel hunt in this game. But, you know, it's like, I didn't fail them. I just haven't finished them yet. Though, whether or not I've given up on Suicune might be, that might depend on the new games. But yeah, it really sucked to just, like, straight up fail the Ditto hunt. I have to, like, restart it. And then I still want to do my hunt in Legends, or, not Legends, Let's Go Eevee. Finish that one up. You know, just a couple things to work on. But first things first, I have to get all these Galarian forms. And if I don't get these first, then, well, those other hunts can wait. It's possible I might have double counted that one. We'll see in a second. Alright, we're past the halfway point in terms of probabilities. I'm officially more likely to have seen the shiny Darumaka, or Darumaka. Jesus, I don't know why I say it wrong every time. But I'm more likely to have seen it by this point than not. Technically, I'm not at odds yet, because odds is 1 in 512, but there's about a 50% chance that you will see at least one shiny after 355 eggs. But yeah, I did get some more stuff done for like some of the design stuff for trying to have like stream graphic stuff updated before the new games come out. I got exactly one more of those pop-in cards done, which it's exactly as tedious as I thought it was gonna be, and actually it still doesn't even look great. I might honestly I did actually make it like a full GIF, so I should probably look and see what the file size was on that, because it might be worth actually like being even more granular with it. But yeah, I got one of those done. Definitely confirmed that I won't be doing the like rainbow color shift thing on it until or I won't be doing that on the shiny dex or the living dex stuff, at least until the living dex one is done. And then we can make that one rainbow again. But the shiny dex one is just gonna stay like 3 individual cards with different colors. But hopefully now that I've got it figured out, I can do it a little bit faster. And still waiting on the Now Playing service or whatever to update for their, like, they're supposed to have a big update. I wonder if actually there was anything about it today. There was not. But there's supposed to be an update for that sometime before the end of the month to add a bunch of stuff. The big thing I'm looking forward to, which, to be clear, what I'm talking about is the, right under the webcam and the frame for it, there's that box that has the song information. That's created by Now Playing, basically. So it just kind of ties into your Spotify, or into your Spotify account, so it can read what song's currently playing. And oops. But yeah, the big thing for that is the update's going to let me have more control over the design of that, I believe. It's probably just going to be colors, but you know, that's fine. Yeah, hopefully that drops soonish. I mean, it said the release date would be announced by the end of the month, and we're on October 22nd, so, you know, they seem to be working on Intel time here. But as long as it's, like, out, at least partially, at least if that, like, feature of it is out before the new games drop, I'll be pretty happy. And I was able to look at actually some of the preview stuff. Cerebi put out pictures that kind of like showed like a lot of the UI stuff for like in the world and in battles and stuff. So I should be able to actually make like my whole like layout work properly before that comes out. I think for the most part it's just gonna be I'm just gonna put the webcam and stuff in the top right corner instead of the top left. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the alerts yet. Like the pop-ins for follows and whatnot. I think I'll probably just leave those in the same spot, to be honest. I do need to update those. I need to make those, like, not basically the default that Stream Elements uses. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those just yet. But I need to do something. Alright. Come on, Darumaka. I really don't want to have a third hunt in a row go over odds. Because we got enough eggs tonight to put us just over that mark. We'll finish at 550, so... You know. Be nice to get this. I did confirm that, yes, I can breed Yamask. I think I said that last stream, though. It is, That's right. I am gonna skip it, though. I'm gonna do Stunfisk first, because there's a chance that maybe I'll get a shiny Galarian Yamask in the Pokemon Go event. I've been checking that a lot more than I usually do daily. I would probably check it right now, actually, but I don't want to dick around with it on stream. But yeah, if I can get one through that, then I'm not going to worry about breeding for it. Kind of like how I did with Galarian Mr. Mime, since I got my Mime Jr. in Legends Arceus, so I just moved it over to Sword and Shield and then evolved it in this, and that gave me the Galarian Mr. Mime. Really glad I did that now, too, because that was right before the, was it right before? No, there was a couple before the... Actually, it might have been. You know what? I'm going to pull that up right now, actually. Because now I'm curious. I think that might have been the one that would have been before the Galarian Corsola hunt. Yeah, it was. That's right, because I got... I might have still been working on Wheezing at the time. But yeah, because that one, and then next up after that would be Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. I already had those from the event for them. Also, you can't traditionally shiny hunt them anyways. And then I skipped Slowking, because I had already done a Slowpoke. I went right into Corsola. That's right. Alright, I can't believe we're already 70 eggs in. I feel like I've been doing this for like 5 minutes tonight. But I guess it goes a lot faster when I actually have anything to talk about. Oh, also something just while I'm thinking about it right now. Let me save real quick. I think it'll make me save when I, go online, but... let me download the wild area news real quick so I can make sure that I get the one for this. Even if I'm not going to do it right now, I would like to at least have that data downloaded. Because as long as I don't replace it with a new one, I will always have that available. So if I need to go get some easy ability capsules or anything like that, I can do so. Not really too worried about that. I do wish, though, that I had done more of the Urshifu raids. Because those were giving out max mushrooms, and that would have made it a lot easier. Even though I'm not concerned, really, with, for some reason, super effective, and Pokedex Tracker and a lot of them, they have like separate boxes in their like stuff for Gmax Pokemon, which just doesn't make any sense to me because it just doesn't. Like, why would I hunt for a separate Pokemon as a shiny to then make that one Gmax and then also have a non-Gmax one? That's always been a weird thing to me. But eventually I will need to have enough mushrooms to make all my shiny Pokemon that have a Gmax form have the Gmax factor. So, I'm not really too concerned with it right now, because there's still a lot of those I need to do. Maybe that's something I might... That's actually not a bad idea. After I get the Paldean forms, like, try and work on that a little bit. Get all of the Gmax forms done. Or get all the Pokemon that have a Gmax form shiny, just so I can have that done and dealt with and not have to worry about it. I do wish there was an easier way to keep track of, like, the number of Pokemon in the national dex that you have shiny. Or, like, in my living dex, like the national dex section. Just because, like, that's what I keep track of for the card pop-ins, but... I suppose I can make more of those, since I'm going to have a lot less of them, probably. Maybe. We'll think about that. Probably not. I'm thinking about it more, but we'll see. But yeah, it's just like, it's kind of a pain in the ass, because if I start doing more of those, like as it is right now, I don't have any of them listed, even though I do have a few of them for the Gmax forms. But like, I have to add up all the regional forms that I have, which isn't too bad, and then subtract that from the total number it shows, subtract the number of the alternate form shinies that I have, which is only a handful, so that isn't too bad. But it's just like, But I think as long as I have... If I get all of the Gmax form stuff done, then that won't be as bad, because I can just, like, have that number saved. And that number isn't going to ever change, I don't think, so... In fact, it will probably... Yeah, it will probably never change. The only thing that it might maybe one day go up by a couple? Yeah, it would only ever, like, possibly go up by 2, and that's if we are able to get shiny Urshifu, because then you send it back to that game, give it the Gmax factor, and then you'd be able to get those ones as a shiny Gmax. But, like, Melmetal, I don't think we'll ever see that happen, because Sword and Shield is going to be the only game that has Gmax forms, and Melmetal is the only Pokemon that has a Gmax form that you can't give a Gmax soup. Because the only way to get Gmax Melmetal is from the, if you transfer a Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home, then you'll get gifted a free, Melmetal with the Gmax factor. So, like, even if you already have a shiny Melmetal, which fortunately I did get both Meltan and Melmetal as shiny before, like, I even cared about my shiny deck stuff. Thank God I did that. I wasn't even trying to do that. It just happened. I was like, you know what? Just in case one day, I'm going to hang on to these, and thank God I did. But yeah, even with those shinies, like, you can't give it the max soup, which is annoying, for one. Like, I get they wanted it to just be an event thing, but it's still annoying. And also, like, you know, again, Sword and Shield is the only games that you're going to be able to G-Max in, almost certainly. Maybe one day they introduce another game that reuses the mechanic, but I highly doubt it at this point. So, like, and they're not going to update Sword and Shield to be like, hey, by the way, you can give max soup to a Melmetal now. I don't see that happening. If that were to ever happen, it'll happen, like, you know, when the new game Scarlet and Violet come out. That would be like at the absolute latest. They aren't ever going to go back and touch those games again after that happens. They've already said that any of the online stuff is not going down, but it's not like it won't update in Pokemon Home for like your battle stuff. There won't be any more wild area events. There won't be any more online competitions. As of November 1st, you can still access the online stuff and battle and whatnot in Sword and Shield, but like there won't be any like real official like event stuff for it anymore. Which is fine. It makes sense. It just is also like, well, now we have this one thing that isn't possible to ever get, most likely. Because, like, yeah, there's shiny locked Pokemon, right? Like Victini, Keldeo, Meloetta, I think. Like, stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, you can't get them shiny ever. But, like, in theory, in a future game, you can. But this is the first time that we're going to have a form that is basically locked to one generation. And, like, the shiny form and that mechanic form are going to be basically version exclusive, or mutually exclusive, sorry. But also I'm thinking about it, I think there are maybe a couple other alternate form ones before that. Maybe. Like, I think Battle Bond Greninja might end up being like that. Because that's basically like its own mega form, but it's not really treated like a mega. So maybe, well, think about it more. Maybe that won't be the case with Melmetal, or it won't be alone anyways, it will be the case. I don't, if anything, that even gives more reason that, you know, there won't be a change to that in the future. Though, to be fair, Greninja wasn't even in this game, so it might be confirmed for it. There was some, like, leaked list of Pokemon that were confirmed, but also, like, it wasn't all of the Pokemon. And also, I'm pretty sure there were Pokemon on there that had been confirmed in other, like, official media that weren't on that page. And yeah, who knows? It's just, I'm not gonna believe stuff like that until, like, I actually see it. The leaks have gotten plenty of stuff right, but they've also gotten plenty of stuff wrong. Or it's been stuff where it's like, yeah, you were right, but also, you know, you were only kind of right, or what you said was kind of so vague that, like, oh yeah, of course it was going to be right. Or it's like, you know, stuff where it was wrong, but also you can clearly see why they thought that's what it was. Like how there's a, like there's supposed to be a future and a past version, or an ancient version of Gallade, but it's like 99% likely that what that was just the Armarouge and, or Armarouge rather, and or however you say it, and Cerulege. Like, because those look very similar to Gallade, so you can see why they would have thought that was an alternate form, but also it's not. So, you know, you weren't right. I don't know. I rarely give, like, any, can't think of the word I want to use for it, but, like, I always have severe doubts about any leak shit. Because, like, even when people are like, oh, yeah, it's a reliable leaker, it's like, right, they were reliable in the past. You have no way to know that they currently are. Because more than a few times, there's been plenty of, like, leakers, not for necessarily Pokemon, but just in media in general, that, you know, have a good reputation. It's like, okay, time to cash in on that and just start making shit up, you know? Or again, like I mentioned earlier, it'll be a thing where it's like, yeah, technically you've not said anything wrong, but that's because you don't really say anything concrete at all. So, like, yeah, if you say something vague enough, you can make anything apply to that, so... Cool. Like, if it's not actually helpful what you're leaking, then I don't give a shit. Plus, again, you know, especially with video games, so much shit changes during the development of video games that it's like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, maybe it was right when you said it, but by the time the game came out, it wasn't relevant anymore. And that's not even, like, you doing anything wrong. It's just literally things change in development. That's why it's so hilarious that people, like, freaked out with when GTA 6 got leaked. Or, like, a bunch of stuff about it got leaked by that one dude who's got arrested for it. Because, like, I don't know. It probably shouldn't be a big deal, but also, like, you know what, actually seeing how people reacted to it, maybe it should be a bigger deal, because it definitely was not welcomed by Rockstar. Because people all freaked out. Oh my god, this game looks like shit. Yeah, no fucking shit, Sherlock. It's a game that's like multiple years away from being released. Of course it looks like shit. What are you talking about? If it was ready to be released, they would release it. Clearly it's not ready to be released, so clearly it's still being worked on. You fucking idiots. God, people are so fucking dumb. Yeah, I mean, you can look also at, like, GTA 5 with how much... There's supposed to be a lot more stuff that was gonna be in GTA 5. Like, there's supposed to be a 6th star where you actually get chased by the military, and there's a lot more foliage that was supposed to be around, like trees and bushes and stuff. Just a whole bunch of stuff that they had to cut because that game came out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, like, you know... What was it, like 256 megabytes of RAM that they had to work with? You know, like, you gotta make cuts somewhere. Frankly, it's insane how good those games were for how shitty that hardware was at the time that they came out. Like, the 360 and the PS3 were fantastic when they came out. But, you know, 7 years later and they were no longer fantastic. Was it even longer than that? Because Xbox 360, was that 05 or 06? Because I know the Xbox One didn't come out to 2013. So, I mean, it was at least 7 years in between releases for consoles. So, like, you know, technology progresses quite a bit. Yeah, I am a little bit interested. Well, probably more than a little bit. I definitely have interest in GTA 6. It's just... It's kind of that thing now where it's been so long since it came out. It came out in, what, 2013? It's been fucking 9 years since GTA 5 came out. Jesus Christ. I haven't thought about that. Good fucking hell. But yeah, like, it's just been so long that's hard for me to have stayed hyped for it. But, like, if it's, you know, it's Rockstar, they probably won't fuck it up too bad. And, you know, not fucking it up too bad from starting from GTA 5 means it's probably going to be pretty fucking good. Though, I don't know. Saints you know, Saints Row already had a pretty good formula, and then they made the new one pretty bland, so... Granted, though, I haven't played it, and actually, from what I watched of it, I went, you know, doesn't look like as good as Saints Row 3 or 4, but it looks like a serviceable game. And, like, honestly, I didn't think too much of Saints Row 2. Granted, I played Saints Row 2 after Saints Row 3, but, like, I just remember not really caring. It's just like, okay, this is a game, I guess. Like, I get there are things that I don't know, like, I just never really cared about it. Meanwhile, some people scream up and down that Saints Row 2 is the best of the series, and 3 is, you know, just too silly and stupid, and then 4 is off in its own other space. To be fair, 4 is very much less of a GTA clone, we'll say, and more of a just like a superhero game. Like, I understand dialing it back from that. Don't get me wrong, Saints Row 4 is fucking a ton of fun. But I get, like, you know, you can't really keep going further and further levels of absurd than that. But, I don't know. One day maybe I'll play, well, you know what, I know when I'll play the new Saints Row. If it comes to Game Pass PC, I'll play it. I'm in no hurry of to go and play that, because I've not heard great things about it. But, you know, hopefully GTA is good. We'll see. I don't know, I haven't looked too much into it with, like, the leak stuff, because, again, like, the leak stuff is, like, not that useful or interesting to me, to be honest. Same with, like, Pokemon, it's just, you know, it's... Like, if it was worth them talking about at this time, then they would start talking about it. You know, so it's, whoops. It's just, like, hard for me to give a shit about it. But I don't know, I think it's confirmed there's only, like, one main character again? Maybe, I might be wrong about that. Because I know the internet had their little shit fit about it being a fucking Latino woman. Like, oh, shut the fuck up. Grow up. Jesus Christ. We had, like, fucking every game up until, like, 2012 was fucking white dude with fucking a buzz cut. So, like, shut the fuck up. Oh, no. Anyways. Hate that whiny shit. Like, to be clear, I would rather just, like, a proper character creator and just, like, make whatever character you want. But, like, it's not the end of the world to play someone that isn't a straight white male, you dumb whiny motherfuckers. Grow up. But yeah, I would really hope that it's not just one character, though, because I did really love that we had 3 characters in GTA 5. That would just, like... I don't know. It just was like, obviously you can way overdo that. Like if there was like 5 or 6 or more characters, then yeah, GTA 5 probably would have suffered for it. But having 3 main characters that you swap between and they all have their like own storylines, but also the storylines are intertwined, but it's just like, oh, that was, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I would really hope they would redo that. Again, I haven't looked into the leaks too much. I just know that the internet threw a shit fit about at least one character that is a playable character is... We'll not go further into that rant. Anyways, I already said enough about that. My feelings and other people's complaining. As usual, this stream turns into me bitching about other people bitching about things, so, you know, maybe we'll dial it back a little bit tonight. But yeah, I did like that multiple character mechanic, especially because, like, you would swap characters, and it would, like, you know, it wasn't like, oh, yeah, you load into their bedroom and then you start playing as them. It's like, no, you, like, swap into them as they're, like, off doing their own thing in the overworld. You know, what they were doing in the overworld never really was any consequence. But it'd be like, you know, you hop into Trevor, you know, the classic example. You hop into Trevor, and he's fucking running from the police in his fucking Jeep or whatever. You know, it's just like, I love that little touch of shit where like it gives the characters life outside of just what you're playing them as. I really do need to go and play through like GTA 5 again. I do have it on PC, so I could do that. Again, once I get like another GPU. Because my big thing with not wanting to play PC games right now, besides the fact that I'm trying to really focus on breeding shinies, is I need encoders that aren't on like the hardware that's being used for the game. That's why it'll be nice when I get the Intel GPU, because I can, you know, use that for streaming. And then for like Switch titles, I can use my CPU for recording encoding. And for if I'm playing a PC game, then I can just use the NVIDIA encoder that's on the 2070. I can use that for recording instead. Because otherwise, like, I've had the issues in the past with, like, Minecraft and stuff, with it having encoding issues and whatnot. Yeah, I can turn down the settings on the recording or whatever and make that work, but it's... OBS seems to be very oddly, not single-threaded, but it definitely is very heavy on certain threads. And without a way to, like, tell the game... There probably is a way to do this, but it's probably a pain in the ass. Like, tell, you know, OBS use these cores and then tell the game use these cores. It's just like, it's just asking for issues with recordings or whatever. So I just, like, don't even want to mess with it anymore. Especially for something like, you know, again, Minecraft was the one that I kept having issues with, right? Uh-oh, did I... No, okay, I did switch. I was scared I had forgotten to take hatched Pokemon out of the party again. I do that sometimes. But yeah, like, I could, like, try and go and find, like, a really cheap, like, NVIDIA GPU, another, like, cheap NVIDIA GPU. Actually, if I had money, I could go buy, like, a 3090 Ti. I'd just use my 2070 as the stream GPU. That would work perfectly fine, and I would have a ballin' GPU, but I don't have $1,000 to go throw on that right now, so, you know. And I do have, in storage, I have a couple of old AMD GPUs, like really old AMD GPUs, which is like why I don't want to use them, because AMD is still probably the worst about their like media stuff, like encoding that whatnot. And, well, the newest of those that I have is RX 560, so, you know, not stellar. Plus, again, that goes back into the issue that I was mentioning a while ago in the stream, was I don't have, or I don't know where my other cables for my power supply are, so anything that I get can't use additional power connectors, and there aren't many GPUs that don't use additional power connectors. I should see if there was something on the, that was like in the 3000 series generation for NVIDIA. That's the, I guess it's called 30 series anyways. But that was like the workstation side of things. That might be like dirt cheap. Probably not though, but even if it's, anyways, it's just not worth it, because again, eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to get one of those Intel GPUs. It's just, the ones that I want aren't even available yet, and we'll see. Also, I mean, at some point, you know, we'll see that stuff on more than just Intel for AV1 encoding. That's the big thing, is I really want the AV1 encoding. Like, we know it'll be on the 40 series cards from NVIDIA, but also, like, the cheapest one of those, which doesn't even exist now because it got canceled after people called NVIDIA out for the bullshit, but it was like $900 for the 4080 12 gigabyte, which was really just a rebadged 4070, and actually people looked at it and it's not even a, it shouldn't, like, in terms of like product stacked wise, it probably should have been more like a 30 or a 4060 or 4060 Ti. So like, cool. And so of course Nvidia canceled it because it's like, okay, we get it, we freaked out. Now they're gonna just sell it as a 4070 for probably the same exact price. So, you know, it doesn't really solve the issue, but cool. And it definitely doesn't solve my issue of it being so fucking expensive, because Nvidia has effectively abandoned the low-end GPU market. Which, granted, the type of cards that I would want to get probably should never have really existed as gaming cards anyways. But who knows, we'll see. I did find out recently, because I didn't realize that this was a thing that existed until I watched the Linus Tech Tips video about the using an Intel GPU as an encoding card. Is that, like, there are, like, straight up just, like, encoding cards for H.264 and H.265. So, you know, I would assume eventually we'll get something like that for AV1. It's just, like, how expensive is that going to be? Like, you would think in theory it should be cheaper, right? Because it doesn't have all the other hardware, but also it's now specialist. Like, it's very, you know, it's not like GPUs where it's like, well, it has to be purchasable by gamers. So there is some price competition, whereas just a pure encoding card might not be as, there might not be as much competition in that specific market. Because in theory, you can say, like, well, then those people can just go buy one of the gaming cards, like an A310 or an A380, but then you're going to have higher power draw. They might be harder to put a whole bunch of them into one system. If you're trying to make, like, a render farm, maybe that's a concern for you. You know, I don't know. So, I mean, hopefully we get those eventually as well, but we'll just have to see with that. Being that's not H.265, they shouldn't be too expensive. Because the thing is, I never knew about this, but the reason why, like, a lot of stuff didn't adopt H.265 was because there was, like, a lot of licensing fees involved with it, which is just, like, I get, but also it killed that standard, and so they didn't really make shit off of it, to be honest. Whereas AV1 and VP9 before it as well, that, like, YouTube and a lot of places adopted as well, those are open source? I know they're royalty free. I want to say AV1 is open source. I might be wrong about that. But yeah, so it's, you know, it doesn't cost anything to, well, designing, like, the silicon to do your encoder might cost something, but there is no, like, you have to pay some conglomerate a bunch of money to use their technology. It's just like, nope, as long as you make the card for it, have at it. I would love to do, like, a full system refresh at some point before terribly long here. At least of the, to a new motherboard, honestly. I don't know. I might have to look into, like, EATX and those, or like a bigger tower. Because I would love to have, like, well, do I want to do that though? I was thinking I would like to have, like, 2 encoding cards and a gaming card, and also my my capture card, which if I would love to upgrade that to the AverMedia card, the, like, Light Gamer 4K or whatever, but for now the Elgato HD60 Pro is still kicking. So god, it's gonna really suck if that thing decides to die on me one of these days. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's a concern I hadn't even really thought of. Oh. Let me make sure I always have money on hand to replace shit, I guess. which is a good idea anyways. I just now need to have more of that, I guess. I don't think the Avermedia is too expensive anyways. But the thing is, like, I would love to kind of do that, but also that's, like, I don't know if there's any point in doing that, because, well, the way I was going to say do it is have 2 AV1 encoders, but I need to also go through and, like, figure out what I'm going to do for editing videos, because I don't think anything I have is going to support AV1 yet. I guess I could handbrake it to MP4 or something, or not MP4, but, like, you know, a different codec, and then work with those files. That can work fine, I guess. Because I know you can already upload AV1 recordings. I guess that, yeah, if I just update... Okay, that could work. Brainstorming live on stream. Also, after this set of Pokemon, I'm gonna take a short break to go to the bathroom. Come on, Darumaka. Kind of actually hope I don't get in the next couple because, again, I need to, like, run to the bathroom. It's actually kind of bad. I've been putting it off for a little bit, and then, because I was just talking, I was going to do it at, like, 400 eggs, but I was just talking and didn't think about it, and now it's like, oh, hey, this kind of needs to happen, like, now. Whoops. I'll be alright, but, you know. Let's get this hatched real quick, and then I will pop into the menu, swap over to my intermission scene, and take a short break. Alright, come on. Alright, swap over to this scene. Alrighty, I will be back in just a moment. Recording is resumed. Swapped over and we'll keep going. I did just notice as I was going to the bathroom, I looked at my email, and I have an email from Square Enix because I forgot to turn off the auto renew for Final Fantasy XIV for another month. I recently subscribed again because I pre-ordered Endwalker, which came out over a year ago at this point. Over a year? Or maybe right around a year. Never got around to playing it though. Because I had gotten bored with the game. It's like, whatever. Came back to it a couple months ago. And, because the, like, Island Sanctuary stuff finally came out, but you have to complete the entire fucking story. Hey, MMO developers, stop doing the shit where you lock behind the content that's like casual content behind beating your fucking game. Please, for the love of fuck. Or let me progress the game doing shit that isn't the combat stuff, because I have zero interest in playing the fucking combat shit anymore. I don't fucking care. I don't mind the single player stuff. The single player stuff is okay. Making me play online shit is annoying. I know, I'm bitching about playing online shit in MMO. But just like, I just want to craft shit and do the Island Sanctuary stuff and all that, instead of letting me just be able to do that shit, which, mind you, I already am going to have to even consider doing that. I have to buy a level cap, or not level cap increase, but, you know, get up to the previous level cap from Shadowbringers, and also the story skip for that, and then I would have to play through the entire fucking story to access this one piece of fucking content. No, I'm just not going to do that. And I guess, you know, fucking, it's my fault for not turning off my auto-renew, which shouldn't have been fucking turned on to begin with. I never turned that on before. I don't know why it was turned on this time. But now, like, instead of actually playing it, it's like, nah, fuck it. I'm done with this game. So, I'm not gonna buy another expansion. I'm not gonna, after tonight, when I go and turn that shit off, I'm not gonna be paying for any more fucking subscriptions, because the content that I actually want to access is buried behind a fucking, like, 50 hours of other bullshit. Like, And then, again, there's no way to, like, if I could just pay to skip to where I want to get to, I probably would at this point, but I literally can't, because they don't let you do that until the next expansion comes out, and then you can catch up to the beginning of that expansion. Like, I get their point is they want people to play the content, but, like, I have zero interest in playing that fucking content. Like, I literally just want to, like, do the island stuff, craft shit. Like, all my crafters, up until the, you know, the most recent expansion we're at, and well, all my crafters and all my gatherers were, at the level cap. Meanwhile, White Mage, which is the only class that I've really played at all. Granted, part of my not wanting to do online shit is fucking I expected White Mage to be a healing class, not a you 99% do DPS, but also occasionally throw out heals. So it's just harder DPS, which is also less satisfying because you don't do as much damage. Thanks. That's all the healing classes. Don't like that at all. So I guess that's my fault for expecting it to be a fucking White Mage, I guess. Anyways. But just like, that class is like level 63 or something. And all the Crafter and Gatherer classes are level 70. Because that's just what I want to do. Just let me fucking... I don't give a shit about being the Warrior of Light. Just let me make fucking boots, goddammit. So it's just like, okay, well, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time doing content I don't want to do to access this content that I do want to do. Like, I already did a bunch of that in fucking Endwalker because, you know, I didn't even get... There's they at least introduced the ability to do the trust system, I believe, where you can use AI partners for the dungeons. So I literally got up to the first area, or the first, like, trial, I guess, that you can't do that on, and I never progressed further. And I still did all the other, like, crafting and gathering stuff that I could do without doing that. But this is just like, okay, if I literally have to go through the entire story, which means you know, they didn't change it so that the trials you do trust for or anything, so I don't care. I literally do not give a fuck. It is so stressful and not fun to do that shit, especially when it, again, I've only played the game intermittently for the last year and a half or so, so it's like a class I already didn't like playing and struggled with, and now I'm also a year out of practice with it, doing content that it just sucks. And like, there's no reason why any of that shit should be locked behind the story. There might be some sort of story reason why the Island Sanctuary stuff is locked behind it, but there's no reason that it should have been. Like, I was so excited when I found out that that was coming out. I was like, okay, I'm going to get back into Final Fantasy XIV then, because this seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, guess I won't. Thanks. Guess you don't want my money. Ever again. I guess I could wait for the next expansion to come out and then buy the skips to that and then play the fucking Island Sanctuary fucking 3 years fucking late? Nah, I'm good. It just, I don't know. Like, I understand I'm complaining about the side content needing progression to get to, but also, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, there's a ton of people who literally just don't care about that content in that game. And the crafting and the gathering stuff is a huge component of that game. And having people do that is a huge component. So it's just like, if the people just want to do that, just let them fucking do that. But there's literally, like, most of that shit you can't really do. Especially Gather. Crafter, you can at least just, like, buy the materials, I guess. But Gathering is just like, no, you just can't access, like, 90% of the areas. Just, like, have an alternate progression path that I can access the newer, or, you know, the different areas after doing whatever I need to. Like, there's literally class quests around, like, gatherers and crafters and stuff like that. So, like, that would just work. And just make it that either you have to progress this far in the main story, or you've completed this, you know, botanist quest, or this, you know, a quest at, you know, for this level for your gatherers or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. There you go. Like, honestly, the Island Sanctuary thing is kind of, like, secondary. I would love to access that, but the big thing is just, like, the gathering and the crafting. Is like, I love doing that, but if you're not gonna let me be able to fucking do it without doing a bunch of shit that I don't want to do, then okay. I guess I'm not gonna play your game anymore. I don't know. Apparently they don't want people to play the game like that, so I guess no loss for them there, but it just seems really stupid. Granted, I also don't really have much time to play that game right now, which is part of that decision, but also just like, I don't know. Again, just I would love to do that shit. I fucking loved leveling my crafting classes in fucking 14, but oh well. Like, the thing about doing that is, like, it's so much more satisfying in an MMO like that, because it's, like, yeah, there, you know, you can do shit like that in some other games, like Skyrim has, you know, a lot of crafting stuff, but, like, it's single player. Like, there, you know, I'm not benefiting anyone else in any way, whereas doing it in, you know, Final Fantasy 14, it's like, yeah, you can go sell your items, or if you want to, you can join a free company or whatever, and you can, you know, help out your, we'll call them guildmates. They're not guilds, but it's the same shit. So it's just like, you know, that's why that shit's, like, so much fun in that. Because it's like, yeah, it's the tedious grinding of doing the crafting shit, but, like, you know, there's a purpose for it. You're helping out your group. Or at the very least, you're helping out your own wallet, you know? In-game wallet, anyways. So it's like, it's nice having that, like, actual real player part of it. I just don't want to do the combat stuff, because then it's also the thing of, like, I don't want to be the asshole holding the group back, but also, like, then sometimes you're not the asshole, but you get that other asshole, and it's fucking infuriating, because it's like, holy shit, I'm bad, how are you worse than me? It's just way too stressful and annoying to deal with that shit. Again, especially as, like, someone who wanted to do, you know, a healing class because I wanted to heal people, not DPS with occasionally, oh, I guess I'll throw out a cure or a revive or something. You know. Like, I'm not saying necessarily that being a healer should be easy, but it should be hard because you're having to manage the healing, not because you're being expected to throw a bunch of fucking damage around and shit, and then also pay attention to other mechanics. Like, a support class should never be the hardest class, I'm sorry. Or you can even have, like, a mechanically difficult, you know, support class with, like, high skill ceiling, but also, you know, very rewarding to get to that. But also, like, white mages literally throw cures at shit, you know? Like, like, I guess at this point I could, like, maybe start working on a DPS class, because I think that's probably going to be easier, but also, like, I'm not going to, you know, again, same with not wanting to play through all this content I don't want to play through. I certainly don't want to play through 80 levels of fucking a DPS class and not even have, like, proper story content to do it. Fuck that. And also, like, I like having my white mage. Like, I like doing that and having that. It's just, again, it's like, they designed it in a way that didn't make any sense. And that's not just white mage, that's like the entirety of the healing classes. I just don't like how they're set up. Which, again, probably just comes into a core thing of, like, well, I just don't like the game. But, like, I did like the game for a little while. And then once it started getting... That's the other thing. There's, like, so many different, like, fucking spells and shit. It's like, fucking Christ. Like, at least when it was, you know, you had your, basically just your global cooldowns. It was like, okay, fine, that's manageable. But now there's, like, 130 different fucking cooldowns you have to manage at the same fucking time. What the fuck? Because it's like, you have your, you know, your Cure, Cure 2, whatever, Revive, all those ones. But then also you have a bunch of other Cure spells, or Cure type spells, that are like not part of the normal cooldown system, and they have their own like really long cooldown, so you're like managing those. And then also there's the Lily mechanic. It's like, when the fuck did White Mage get so complicated in Final Fantasy? Y'all remember when Final Fantasy Tactics, where it was literally just you Yurd and Asuna'd, and that was basically it? Like, what the fuck? Like, that's the whole reason why I chose that class, was I didn't want it to be stupidly complicated. Just, like, let me experience the damn game and not be a detriment to my goddamn team. Then you have your Lily bullshit. Yeah, it's just like, goddamn. And then there's also now, like, the Blood Lily shit, where you also use that for, like, doing more damage. Again, why is White Mage concerned with damage so much? Why is all the healer classes concerned with damage so much? Just like, fucking hell. White Mage got unnecessarily powerful as soon as they got Holy. I mean, shit, at least Holy, like, makes sense in, like, the grand scheme of, like, you know, what I would think of being White Mage. And, like, you know, it does have, you know, some utility because it has the stun to it and stuff, but just, like, it's just, there's too much bullshit that I'm having to manage. Just, like, all, like, DPS and tank and healer should all have, like, an accessible class. They don't necessarily need to be the best. They just need to be good enough that, you know, you can clear story content. I don't care about doing the raids and shit. Like, I know that's, like, a big part of MMOs and whatnot, but that's fine. Like, listen, I'll make all the fucking gear for other people to go do raids. I'll sit back in the company house, just make a bunch of gear, and that's fine. I'm perfectly happy doing that. There's a reason why people call healer screen DPS. Yeah, exactly. That shouldn't be a thing. It's a healer class, but it's not fun to heal, and you literally get bitched at if you just heal because you're expected to do damage. But, like, a healer shouldn't be concerned about damage. Like, what the fuck? And I get that people, like, I guess thought that that made it boring to be a healer, but also then you don't want to be a healer. I don't know. My White Mage friend consistently out DPS's actual DPS's. Yeah, it's stupid. Like, that should never be a thing. Like, you should have, like, exactly one damaging spell that you use in downtime. And you shouldn't be having, like, so much downtime that you're doing a significant amount of damage with that. Or maybe not even, like, one spell. Like, you should probably have multiple damaging spells for when you're doing single-player content, so you can actually, like, play single-player. But, like, when it comes to, like, actual, you know, multiple-player content, like, your main focus should be healing, you know? Anyways, yeah, it's just so disappointing with that. And I got reminded because I keep on forgetting to turn off that auto renew. I got the message like a week ago saying, "Hey, we're gonna auto renew in like a week." I was like, "Oh shit, I need to turn that off," and then forgot about it. And then literally as soon as it hit October 22nd, it charged, and it's like, God damn it. But yeah, like, seriously, I just want to craft gear. Like, I love the Final Fantasy I love the Final Fantasy 14 universe, you know? It's, like, a ton of fun. I love all the shit they've done with it. But the, like, main game is just not... Yeah, again, even the single player is fine, but as soon as I have to worry about being a fucking the detriment to every other person trying to play the fucking game and that, it's just like, cool, this isn't fun anymore. Not only is it fun, it's actively so unfun that I would rather just suffer through being a crafter and a gatherer without being able to access, like, half of the content available in Shadowbringers. Like, I legitimately, I would rather just not dealing with it. That should, like, never be a thing. Which is part of why I hate fucking anything multiplayer at this point. Because it's always just like, it's not worth it anymore, man. It's just too much fucking bullshit with it. Right now, you just spam Glare and then do Benediction. Yeah, that's just... I mean, it's been that way since, like, Shadowbringers, but yeah, it's just like... Like, a healer should be focused first on healing the party and keeping the party alive, not let me do a bunch of throwing spells around and then, oh yeah, let me get the healing when I have an opportunity. A lot of that is just, like, the design of Final Fantasy XIV is meant, like, more as a lot more of the damage is avoidable. Like, you're not constantly getting, like, a lot of damage applied. It's like, you can avoid most of it. You know? So it's like, you're not really... You know. There's not really much for the healers to be doing, but that's just... If, like, the entire purpose of this class is made irrelevant, so they just have to basically fill in as a shittier version, although with my mage, sometimes better version of a different tier of classes, it's just like, you've fucked up your design. Like, it's cool that, like, there's a lot of dodging of attacks and stuff in Final Fantasy XIV, but it makes an entire, like, group of classes just unfun to play. For people who want to play like that, which, like, again, you mentioned fucking supports are only meant to do, yeah, like, I don't, the entire point of me, oops, actually, I guess that works because I already hatched everything, but, like, yeah, that's the big point of me wanting to be a support. I don't care about doing the damage, just let me fucking support. And instead, I can't fucking do that. Like, honestly, something like Dancer is probably a better support class than than the healer classes. Like, that's something that should be on the healer classes, is, like, all of the shit to, like, buff your teammates and stuff, you know? Because, again, support. Like, healer is typically going to be support, because otherwise it, like Final Fantasy XIV, it just turns into shitty DPS. I don't know. It's just, it's a big rant that I just went on because it's very disappointing that, like, all the time that I've spent in Final Fantasy XIV, it's just like, I just can't play this game anymore. Not because it's like I don't enjoy it at all, but just getting to the content that I want to enjoy requires me to put up with a bunch of shit that I am so actively uninterested in dealing with that it's just miserable. Like, I would, if I wasn't at all concerned about getting banned or anything, and it wasn't kind of a pain in the ass to do it, I would literally just pay someone to level my account for me at this point. Just, here, I'll throw fucking $25 at you or something. Just beat the main story for me. Don't even have to do, like, raids or anything. Just beat the story. Just get it out of the fucking way so I don't have to do it. But, again, because of all the fucking two-factor authentication and stuff like that. And also, that's another thing that really killed it for me. I don't even know if I can access my account at this point. I know I can, but I have to figure out what Steam account it's under, because when I tried to start doing the subscription again, they made it so you have to, like, actually bind your Steam account to the Square Enix account, which, like, I understand why they did that. But the way they described it and my understanding of the accounts and shit, I guess I got that horribly wrong. So I basically locked my Steam account to a brand new Square Enix account. So then I couldn't play the game on my main Steam account. But by creating a new Steam account, I could bind that to my actual Square Enix account that has my fucking Final Fantasy XIV shit on it. Which is fine. So I was able to access that just fine. But that means I have to switch Steam accounts every time I want to play the fucking game. And now that's been like 3 months, I don't even remember what the account information for that shit was. So, you know, I would have to go figure that out first. I think you can look that up on MogStation or whatever. I can at least figure out what the username is and I can work from there, but God fucking damn it, man. Like, I get why they did that, but just my understanding of how they did it was not correct, and so it just fucked everything. All I wanted to do was just craft boots and have a farm on an island, and they couldn't let me do that. Speaking of that, though, I should see if there's been any updates for Slime Rancher yet. Even though I'm not sure how much I care until the game's actually out, but I would like to see if there's been an update. And also, there's the Coral Island that came out recently. Or it didn't come out, but it's in early access, and it's on Game Pass. Much like Slime Rancher. That seems to be pretty interesting. It seems to be very, very similar to Stardew Valley, but also Stardew Valley was very, very similar to... what was the one that came before it? I can't remember the name of it. But it's, you know, I don't know. The graphical style for that Coral Valley, or not Coral Valley, Coral Island is like, it seems not good. Like, that's the biggest thing that's hurting me with it, is like, I think it's probably fine, but being that it is so similar to Stardew, it feels very much like a shitty 3D knockoff, when it's really not. It's apparently a pretty good game so far, just like, obviously it needs a lot more content. It's pretty short in that regard, but, you know, it's early access. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into that game at all until it's out. I do want to go back to Stardew at some point. Which I could, in theory, do that without needing the Intel card. Oh, I could probably do that without even needing this. It would be fine on, I think. I just have to turn down the CPU settings a little bit for streaming, but it's, but I do have it on Switch as well. I'm not sure. I assume Switch eventually got the 1.5 content, although I'm kind of fine if it didn't, because I just didn't care about the 1.5 content at all for Stardew. Like, don't get me wrong, it's awesome they added more stuff, but just, like, I felt like Stardew was pretty good without it. I don't know. And it just adds a bunch more shit that's, like, kind of endgame, but it's also like, well, this is just more shit I have to do now? I don't know. Like, by the time I get to, like, the like, island content, it's like, I like the idea of having that island as a farm, but, like, the, upgrading, like, weapons with, like, gems or whatever the fuck, and just all this stuff in that island, it's just like, well, by the time I get to this point, I kind of don't care. I kind of just want to, like, build a farm and not worry about more new mechanics being added. Still very happy it's there for people that want it. I didn't really care about that at all. Granted, it doesn't help that, in the playthrough most recently, we got to it probably earlier than you probably should. Or at least you would in a single player, because, it was a multiplayer save, and it just felt like, it made things progress kind of too fast because of that. I am kind of thinking about doing almost, not like, I'll say challenge run, but not really challenging myself with it, but like trying to do a run where I focus primarily on animals and make like a ranch instead of a farm. Still have a small farm section, and obviously, you do want to get the greenhouse and, do stuff with that, but... Just like... Oh, I just noticed these are in a dive ball. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it would be kind of fun to do a different playthrough of that. Kind of like a Slime Rancher 2. I kind of want to do a playthrough of that where I do... I don't actually build any corrals. Except for, like, I'll build, like, maybe 1 or 2 if I have to, just for, like, progressing stuff, kind of. Or, like, if I need very specific stuff. Or, like, something like, say, you know, the pond slimes or the fire slimes where they have, like, very specific conditions that they have to exist in. It's like, okay, those are kind of okay. But just, you know, trying to see how far I can get, like, just trying to keep the slimes happy with, and sticking around with, like, having a bunch of food available for them or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. There's plenty of playthroughs I want to do with stuff. I kind of really want to do either a Stone Block or a Sky Factory, playthrough of Minecraft. I just know those are gonna take a really long time, which is kind of fine, but also, like, I don't know. Like, I would love to just have, like, a casual, like, just vanilla playthrough of Minecraft. Again, playthrough. But it's just, I don't even know what I would really do. I've played so much Minecraft in my life already. And it's like I have these very grand ideas of what I kind of want to do, but getting to those requires doing a lot of the basics again, and it's just like, eh. And, like, I have really zero interest of, like, go fight the Ender Dragon. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Or, like, a lot of the new stuff, like the Wardens or whatever the fuck, I don't give a shit. I don't want to deal with that shit, man. I guess I could just play in creative, but it's like, I do like having some threat of there being, like, spiders and stuff. Especially when you're in, like, caves, but just, like, I don't know. The harder content I just don't care about. Because it's Minecraft. I don't care about it for the difficulty. But we'll see. Again, that's kind of like all on the back burner until I get this done. Which, boy, it sure looks like we're going to be doing another day of Darumaka. Not looking forward to that. Not looking forward to it at all. In fact, well, I suppose it's the same as any other shiny hunt I would do. It's just like, come on, please. I don't need to have 3 hunts in a row go over odds. Like, that's kind of really annoying, actually. Especially with how just dismal the fucking Galarian Corsola hunt was. Like, I understand I got a bunch of fucking shiny Zigzagoon, but also I didn't ask for 5 rather shiny Zigzagoon. I would have been perfectly happy after the 3rd one. And honestly, even that wouldn't have been, like, that absurd, I don't think. I think that would have been, like, you know, if I had gotten 3, it would have been, like, 300 or 400 eggs for each one, honestly. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit more. It would have been right around 300, I think. So, like, you know. I don't know, man. I want these damn shinies. I want the new games to be out so I can actually, like, play Pokemon again and not just breed for shit. We'll see. Also, that reminds me, I do need to download Citra at some point and try and get the 3DS ROMs as well. I mean, entirely legitimate versions of the 3DS games, along with the 3DS with the capture card, obviously. Because now that, like, kind of works better, because when I originally downloaded my ROMs, Citro is still kind of flaky from everything I heard. So, I didn't bother with those. I'm trying to remember if they were even in the download. They might have been in the download, I might have just deleted them, because it's like, yeah, I'm never going to do this. But yeah, download that, get, like, the other, you know, things set up. Oh. Swap those out. Because I would like to play through some of those games. Specifically the ones that I never actually played through. Like, Gen 1, I never did a proper playthrough at all of the original games. None of the Gen 3 stuff I ever did, including the ORAS. Those are the main ones. I mean, I know Black and White 2 are supposed to be, like, actual sequels to Black and White, but I don't really care. Why is... Okay. I don't know why my chair always looks so incredibly off-center. Like, it is, like, even, or supposed to be anyways, with the desk. But then in the webcam, it's, like, seems like it's way off. Anyways, I have no idea what that is. It could just be this chair is just not centered properly. Because, I mean, it was, like, the cheapest chair that I could find at the local office supply store. Or the cheapest chair that wasn't, like, that was, like, a full-size chair. It wasn't, like, you know... only way it went halfway up my back and shit like that. Even though then I still sit forward in it, so it like kind of doesn't matter. Anyways. But one of my things with not wanting to really do, like, especially the early gen games yet, especially like Gen 3, is there's still that hope that maybe we'll get the Nintendo Switch Online, like, virtual console, whatever the fuck they call it, for GBA and Game Boy Advance, or Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. Because we do know that the emulator exists for it. Like the official in-house emulator for playing those games on the Switch. It's just a matter of if we're ever gonna get them. And also if Pokemon will even be included in that, which... I don't know. I mean, we got Pokemon Snap, we got the Pokemon Stadium games, which, like, I feel like Nintendo would have rather... If anything, they would have rather just not admit those exist. Because they're not really that interesting. Especially with how limited they are with the NSO stuff, because you can't import Pokemon at all, and the rental Pokemon are pretty much all trash. So, like, what's the point? But that does make you kind of worry, right? Because if they didn't make that stuff kind of work at all with Pokemon Home, then, like, if there are, like, you know... We'll say Pokemon Ruby on the Switch, would you even be able to use that? Because it's all like... Is it all cloud stuff? Or I forget exactly how it works. But it's like, it's just, you know... There's a big question mark about, like, would you be able to even import your Pokemon? Or not even import. I think it would probably be a one-way transfer from the games to Pokemon Home. And that's, like, fine. Especially Gen 1 and 2. Gen 3, in theory, you could do it, because a lot of, like, the file stuff hasn't changed since then, but it would probably delete a lot of the file stuff, or it might freak out about it. But Gen 1 and 2 are like completely different stat mechanics and stuff, so, you know. Probably not, wouldn't be able to do it. Oh, come on, Darumaka. Please. This is gonna be another hunt that goes to like 1,000 eggs. It's just... The Pokemon gods have decided that I'm not getting all these done before the new games come out. Which kind of sucks because, like, trying to get all of the, you know, gathering the eggs before the stream means that, like, I don't really have time to shiny hunt off stream. At least nowhere near as much time. So, like, makes it kind of hard to work on that stuff off stream, too, if I want to try and get, like, the Slowpokes or the other Darumaka out of the way. Like, yeah, I got 4 of my Galarian Zigzagoon off stream, but that's because I already had the eggs. So, like, you know, that wasn't too crazy. And that's the other thing. There's, like, a bunch of, like, specific setup stuff that you have to do to make the auto-hatching work. Like, I think you even need to, like, adjust it so that it, is working with the right step rate and stuff. You might not have to do that, but like it will speed it up. But it's just like, you know, gathering the eggs is honestly pretty simple. You just make sure your party is full so that nothing can hatch, and then that's like basically it. And make sure you like start in the right area. Actually, no, you just have to start out. Yeah, you do have to start in, like, the right area. You have to, like, start kind of near the daycare center. But then other than that, like, it goes. And there's no real specific setup. Now, it does help to make sure that you have the eggs going into the right boxes to start. But, like, you know, at this point, with how many open boxes I have, now that I cleared them all out, that isn't going to be too hard. Come on, Darumaka, please. I still need 6 shinies in less than a month. Which, in theory, isn't too bad, but again, this shit keeps happening, and it makes it real difficult. Because if I average 1 shiny a week, I'm gonna be 2 shinies short. So, you know. And if there's a wild area event, then that's, you know, probably at least 1 stream there that I don't have. And it's just... Plus, I want to make sure... that Wednesday before the games come out. So they should come out... Let's see here. So they come out on November 18th, which is a Friday. But they'll probably be released, for me anyways, around 10 p.m. on Thursday. Yeah. So that Wednesday before that I would normally stream, I will not be streaming most likely. I will just take that day off. And then I'll do a really long stream of the game of Scarlet, like from 10 p.m. till whenever I'm like not able to go any further. Probably like 4 a.m. or some shit like that. 3 or 4 a.m. probably. We'll see, though. I mean, I have a lot of, like, grand plans for shit like that, and then I get, like, 3 hours in, and I go, alright, cool, so I'm done. So I'm gonna try something real quick here. Give me 1 second. Make sure this is mute. Nope, nope, stay muted. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Did I swap those out of my party? I might not have. Might have gotten distracted there. Hold on. Oh, no, I did. Okay, cool. I guess maybe it won't be the end of the world if we can't breed for shinies in the new games. I'm definitely getting burnt out with this, which, I mean, part of it is like I need to get this done, so like when they go over odds, like this is about to fucking do. I might be double counting this one, by the way. I realize as I hit the button again, I think I already hit it once, but it's just like, you know, it's a lot more, or a lot less, enjoyable when like you're worrying about it, which, you know, when they're hatching at a reasonable rate is not too bad, but when they're every fucking hunt has decided that now it's going to be over odds, it's kind of shit. It's actually like kind of really annoying that I've gone 3 hunts over odds. I get that, again, like it's kind of hard to complain because I had so many hunts that didn't go over odds, but also, like, just, like, I don't know. So, yeah, I will need to get 15 more eggs after we hatch all these, so I can get up to my 5... Did I do my math wrong? I must have done my math wrong. Because this is, I have 510... 520, 530, 35, no, 15 more. Okay, I don't know why that math wasn't adding up in my head. But yeah, get up to 550 eggs and we'll wrap up for the night. But yeah, apparently I should just never shiny hunt when, like, I don't understand why it is that I ride so close to, like, the bottom edge of this bridge here. Because, like, every other time I go through there, I fucking run into that lady. But yeah, having, like, a time limit, I guess, doesn't, like, a deadline, I guess, to have all of these shinies. It's just, like, all of a sudden, as soon as I do that, I can't get shinies at a reasonable pace. But, you know, when I can just do it whenever I want and it doesn't really matter, then I get them in like 200 eggs every time. Shouldn't ever work like that, but okay. Thanks, Pokemon. Alright, is this going to be right on 512? It won't be, but, you know. Yep, nope. Maybe I'll do something different on Sunday, like I did last Sunday where I played Legends Arceus, because this is getting real fucking miserable. Especially if I don't have this by Saturday, I'm gonna do something else. Because there's only so much of this I can do. As much as I want to keep doing it, but it has to be somewhat interesting, and just running around with these fucking eggs that aren't giving me anything for 50 fucking hours at a time is just not doing it for me. And I mean, if I'm not gonna get all of the Galarian forms before the new games are out anyways, then who gives a shit? Might as well fucking, you know, do something else during that time. So yeah, we're officially over odds. We've been well past the more likely to have seen a shiny than not for a while now. So, you know, just another day of shiny hunting, I guess. Really glad that I got like 16 extra Galarian Zigzagoons that I did and needed right around now. Really wish there was a way in Pokemon Home to just say, hey, you can only trade for this if it's a shiny. Why that isn't a thing, but there's like 8 billion other restrictions that you can set on trades, I have no idea. Because, like, if I could do that, I would be going to trade for Slowpokes right now. Like, absolutely. So I can at least, you know, get those done and not worry about them. I did move eggs over, right? Yep, okay. That is, like, really bizarre that you can't specify that stuff. Like, you can specify alternate forms and, you know, I think sex and, like, a million, or not a million, but I mean, there's, like, probably a solid 6 or 7 different filters that, like, have to be, it has to meet those requirements for them to be able to trade you on the GTS. But shininess isn't one of them, which makes very little sense. Like, even just making the thing that it has to be shiny to require a shiny in return. That would be mostly fine. Actually, maybe it is? I should check that, actually. It's possible, but I don't think so. I definitely got spoiled by Legends Arceus. I don't think I'd be complaining about this nearly as much if Legends Arceus hadn't been a thing with getting the insane amount of shinies that you get in that game, but also, like, I don't know. But I mean, eventually we'll get this. I would be very surprised if I don't at least get this before the new games come out. Whether or not I get all the Galarian forms is considerably more questionable now. But we will at least get this one. It's funny because, like, I didn't hate Galarian Corsola this much. I mean, by the time I got it up to like 1600, yeah, it was starting to get a little bit miserable, but like that one wasn't too bad. But now, like, Galarian Zigzagoon took just over odds, and now this one is at least currently just over odds, and it's just like, can't do it. But we'll see. If I need to change my plans before I get to the release of Scarlet and Violet, then we will. If it's obvious that, like, I'm not going to be able to get everything I want, then, like, whatever. We'll figure out something else to do. Or, you know, one of these could be the shiny, and then I just, like, don't even have to worry about it. Well, I would still be worried about it, because, you know, I would still need 5 shinies in 4 weeks, which is, and breeding-wise, can be quite a bit. We'll see, though. Was that 4 or 3? Whatever. We'll find out in a second. If I don't hatch another egg right after this one, then I guess I forgot to count one. Once again, my theory is proven. All you have to do is bitch and whine constantly, and you get the fucking shiny. Now, actually, I don't know. I was going to say how it would be hearing me bitch and moan. I don't know. But actually, I think there is a speaker on the Switch. Clearly, sound theory here. Absolutely no way it can be proven wrong. Every time I've bitched about it, I eventually do get the shiny. Much like how every person who's ever drank water has died eventually. Clearly, you shouldn't drink water. And clearly, I just need to bitch more on stream. Oh, thank God. I was really getting worried that this hunt was going to get really bad. Alright. Well, I don't have to collect more eggs now. Let me finish hatching the rest of these eggs, and then we'll wrap up. Fuck yes. Oh my God. I cannot wait to release all this shit. As soon as we know there aren't really going to be any more wild area events. Well, we know when there won't be anymore, but like, once we get to that point, I can't wait to get rid of all this hacked bullshit that I've been given over the last couple of years. Alright, now game, if you want to be really cool, give me another shiny Darumaka. Why I keep getting that wrong, I don't know. You can give me another one of those right now and I'd be pretty happy. I would actually be so fucking happy. That would take me from, I might not get this done still, to like, I'm a lot more confident. I don't even need to make a timestamp for that. I can just go to the end of this recording and then scrub back a little bit until I find where I got the shiny. Did I move eggs over? I thought I did. Yes, I did. Alright, well, tomorrow... Well, one, I don't have to worry about Sunday starting a different hunt because... Well, or not starting a different hunt, but doing something other than these hunts. But yeah, tomorrow we'll start Stunfisk, I guess. Because like I said earlier, there's a chance I can get Galarian Darumaka from the current Pokemon Go event. Oh, wait, let me get rid of that. Because I don't need to count these. There we go. Since that's where I got the shiny, I should keep that where it is. But yeah, we'll do Stunfisk if I get that before the Pokemon Go, before basically Halloween, which I probably should. I have, what, 9 days to do that? 8 days? Somewhere in there. We'll do Slowpoke, and then once that one's done, we'll do, again, if we don't have Galarian Darumaka, we'll do Darumaka, and then probably Darumaka, and then Slowpoke again. And that would be all of the Galarian forms done. The last Slowpoke and the last Darumaka would have to be evolved still, but that isn't going to be too hard. I think Darumaka is just a Ice Stone, and Slowking, or Slowpoke into Slowking is you give it the item that you can craft in the Crown Tundra, I believe. Alright, 5 more eggs here. Maybe we'll get the shiny, or get another shiny. I'd be really happy if we did. But we'll see. If I got another shiny now, I would probably do Slowpoke next, actually. Just because then that would be the only duplicate one I still have left, so that way I would still be able to do Slowpoke, Stunfisk, and then decide if I need to do Slowpoke or Yamask next, and then do the other one. Now I'll definitely have to make sure to go collect more eggs tonight. Get that done. Actually, I probably, tonight, we'll probably, like, release all the eggs that I need to release. God damn it, I did it again. I guess it's a good habit to be in, though, hitting the key for the counter. But yeah, I'll probably, like, release stuff, make space, and then I'll probably go work on organizing my, my traded Pokemon a little bit more, so I can, try and get some more Master Balls in my other Pokemon Sword save for catching other, like, Reggies and stuff for shiny hunting. I would want at least one more, because I will at least do Registeel and Regieleki on that save. I would need to make the decision if I'm going to do the other two. I probably should do, actually, the other two Reggies, or at least have Master Balls for them. So I need at least 3 more Master Balls on that save. And then when I do Regidrago, because I don't know that I would do Regigigas on Sword and Shield, honestly. There's no, like, you can get it shiny, and it's not like it's worse odds, because the Shiny Charm doesn't work on any of the other Reggies, but just having to load into a raid for it, I think is going to take a lot longer. Maybe. We'll see. I would look into it after, getting Regieleki anyways. Alright, well. Oh, thank God. Oh, let's actually go look at it real quick before we wrap up here. We did get it tonight, thank God, because it was... I was getting a little bit worried with it. 524 eggs, just over odds. That's not that bad. You know, same with the Zigzagoon, what was it, like 545 or something? It's just on the back of the Galarian Corsola, and then being like, well, here we are back over odds again for the 3rd time in a row. You know, it was getting worrying. But we got it. We don't have to worry about it now. It's one less to go. We got 5 more shinies to get for the Galarian forms. We still need Slowpoke, Slowking, Darmanitan, Yamask, and Stunfisk, all those being Galarian forms. And then we'll have all the Galarian forms. So we'd have all of our Hisui forms and all of our Galarian forms. I don't have all the Alolan forms yet, though, assuming we're able to get Alolan forms in Scarlet and Violet, which they seem to have indicated we're going to be able to do, I can shiny hunt for everything for the Alola forms. Some of them are hunts that I'm not really looking forward to doing, like trading for Alolan Marowak in Let's Go Eevee. Not going to be a fun time, but we can do it. Because up until recently when Muck was confirmed for the new games, that was a question mark for me. Because it was possible I was going to have to go pick up a copy of Let's Go Pikachu to do that. And I wasn't going to go buy another game to shiny hunt for 2 Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, we're getting there. There is a chance. 5 shinies, a little bit less than 4 weeks. How many streams do I got? Just like looking at it. We got 1, 2. We really only... Yeah, we only have 2 more this week. 2, and then 5, 7, 12, and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we have like 17 more streams, so about 3 shiny hunts per Pokemon. Hopefully it works. Hey, we'll see. Anyways, we'll be starting Stunfisk tomorrow. And we will be doing that Sunday as well, assuming we don't get it very quick. I'm not gonna bet on that. But yeah, and then the week after, we'll figure it out from there. Anyways, thank you everyone who watched. I know the end of this kind of got a little bit whiny and moaning, but I mean, as you can see, once again, it got results. Same time last year too, where I like had that thing where I was like, man, all I got to do is bitch and I get more shinies. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, come follow me on Twitch. You get to see me get that shiny live. Might not want to listen to me complain about it, but hey, man, you get to see it live and stuff, and you know, we're getting close to affiliate. We are getting up there. Viewer count is still like, our average viewers is like kind of still the hang up, but we'll get there. And if I don't have it before Scarlet and Violet, I will probably get it with Scarlet and Violet. If Legends Arceus was anything to go by anyways. But yeah, and if you're watching on Twitch as a VOD, don't. This will get uploaded to YouTube, as do pretty much all my VODs. And the YouTube player is better. The quality is higher because I get to record at a higher bit rate. And also they stay up for more than 7 days, which is, you know, awesome. I'm like, I get why Twitch doesn't keep them up for super long, but also like more than 7 days, guys. Come on. Anyways, but yeah, wherever you watch it, again, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.